Hello and welcome back to When in Rome. Not quite sure where Mr. Naughton is. My name is Julius Caesar. I'll be taking over this show today. Hey, wait a minute. Julius, you weren't supposed to come out yet. But I thought I was running the show. Get out of here. Sorry guys, Mr. Naughton back again. Julius Caesar will be coming back in a bit. He was a bit excited. He really wants to host the show today, but first we've got to get some background on him. So, like he mentioned, this is episode 4 of When in Rome, all about the man, the myth, the legend, Julius Caesar. So, before we talk about Caesar, we've got to talk about the background. We learned a lot about the Republic in the last episode, so let's look at some problems in the Republic. Everything's going great. The Republic's doing well for a couple hundred years. They just beat up Carthage in those Punic Wars, and all of a sudden, there's these major problems that start popping up. First off, repeat after me, latifundia. A latifundia is a private estate that is like a huge plantation. It's like a big system of farms owned by wealthy Romans. Are wealthy Romans patricians or plebeians? They're patricians. So, these latifundia are all owned by patricians. That's a big problem. There's a bunch of very wealthy Romans controlling almost all of the farming in the Roman Republic. So, a lot of power in the hands of a few makes for a problem as well. And also, the rich are charging less for their crops than the plebeians did. So these latifundia, it's cheaper to buy from, so everyone's going to flock to the latifundia. They're going to make all the money. The poor farmers aren't going to make nearly as much money. So the poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting richer, and it's going to cause some problems in ancient Rome. Next, as a lot of people start losing their jobs and becoming poor and homeless, they start offering bread and circuses. If you know the Hunger Games series, this is actually where that idea comes from. The Hunger Games books are about this capital, which holds all the power and controls the 12 districts. They put on the Hunger Games every year as a way to distract the people from actual problems. So they all watch the Hunger Games on TV. They all fixate and focus on it rather than, focusing on being poor and not having any food for yourself. So they use it as a method of distraction. And that's exactly what the Roman Republic did. All the leadership of the patricians and the wealthy ones, they would use bread and circuses. In other words, food and games, gladiator stuff in the Colosseum, to distract the Roman people, the poor people in Rome. And lastly, another problem. This guy named Marius, you don't need to worry about him too much, but he was a consul who kind of took power for a little bit, not very long. But one of the biggest reforms or changes that he brought to Rome was that military generals were no longer loyal to the city of Rome or to the people of Rome. They were loyal only to themselves, which means the military, each army is going to be way more loyal to the general than to the actual Republic of Rome. That's a big problem because if the soldiers aren't loyal to Rome, they're loyal to their general. Well, what if their general goes against Rome? Soldiers are going to pick their general over the city of Rome. That's probably the biggest one. So, next up, I want to explain this little power dynamic. Before I let Julius Caesar take over, we need to know what this word means. Does anyone know what is a triumvirate? Triumvirate is a group of 3 people, that's where tri comes from, holding power. So, these 3 people are secretly behind the scenes of ancient Rome, behind the scenes of the Republic, are going to set up a secret deal. Caesar, take it away. Alright guys, name's Caesar. I'm back again. These are my 2 home dogs who helped me take over Rome. Crassus, he's got the money. Without him, we can't pay for anything. Pompey, he's got the navy and a lot of the military. And me, I'm out in Gaul, otherwise known as France, kicking butt and expanding Rome, adding more and more territory. It's making me more and more famous, which means I'm getting more and more money and props. So, my homeboy Crassus dies. He falls in battle. So now, there's just 2 of us. Pompey starts thinking he's going to run Rome. That's me. So, we get in a bit of a fight, me and Pompey. We fight it out. We have a civil war. Guess who wins? This guy. For the Senate and people of Rome. Definitely. I'm definitely not taking power for myself. So, I win the Civil War. Things are going great. And as time goes on, I decide, maybe it's time for a little bit more power for myself. So, here's some quick facts about me and what I did to the Roman Republic. I figure being consul, one of those two leaders of the Roman Republic, wasn't enough. So I asked the Roman Senate, hey, maybe you should name me, dictator for life. No big problem there. And they actually do it. The people really like me, so they name me dictator for life. I make some big reforms when I'm in office. I give out land to all of my former soldiers who fought in the Roman army. And for farmers, I give them a lot more land and money for poor farmers so that they can expand. And this makes me really well liked. A lot of normal people really like what I'm doing. But I suppose there are some people who don't like what I'm doing. There's some people that are wealthy, like patricians and people in the Senate, who absolutely hate what I'm doing. They don't want me to be giving out this land to poor farmers and poor soldiers, so I guess I have some haters, but whatever. All I know is the poor people, the common people, the soldiers, the farmers, they all love me. What can I say? I know I'm pretty cool. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, I'm the most famous general in Rome. Don't let that Mr. Naughton guy tell you, hey, whoa, what are you doing? Sorry about that. So, he gets a bit carried away. So, we know what happened. Caesar became dictator. He takes all the power. He makes a lot of good reforms, but he also makes some enemies because he takes all this power, and he doesn't really care about the Republic. Sorry, Caesar. He doesn't care about that type of government. He wants all the power for himself. So now, it's a good old-fashioned story time. Caesar, he's in the city of Rome. He has all the power. He's dictator for life. And these other guys start getting pretty mad at him. Those patricians in the Senate that I talked about. Let's meet a couple of them. So first off, we have this guy named Brutus. Brutus, I'm one of Caesar's friends, just hanging out. I helped fight with him in some battles up in Gaul. We're cool now. I'm working in the Senate. So Brutus is just hanging out. And all of a sudden, this Cassius guy shows up. Hey, Brutus, did you hear about what Caesar's doing? He's giving out money to all the poor people. Like, what the heck? He's giving out farmland to all the poor people? Brutus, come on. We got to do something about this. I don't know, though. He's my friend, and we fought together. Like, I shouldn't hurt him or anything. And Cassius comes back and says, you're a Brutus. Your ancestors took out the Etruscan kings, right? Well, we have a new king now. We got to take him out. All right, fine. Tomorrow, we're going to kill Caesar. So, as you can see, it's a bit of a crazy situation here, where Brutus and Cassius start organizing some senators in the Roman Senate to kill Caesar. Meanwhile, he has no idea about it. La 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 la, I'm walking down the city streets. Hey, look, it's a fortune teller. What's up, man? Beware the Ides of March. That's kind of creepy. Oh, whatever. The Ides of March are the 15th of March. It's like the halfway point of the month. This soothsayer or fortune teller told Caesar, hey, you should watch out on that Ides of March, the 15th of March. Something bad could happen to you then. Caesar just dismissed it. He shows up to the Roman Senate to give his speech that day. Oh, come on, guys. Why don't you like my policies? Why don't you like my ideas? We're doing something good here. What? What? I've been stabbed. Who could have done this? Brutus, how could you do this? According to William Shakespeare, his famous last words were, Et tu, Brute? Or in other words, and you, Brutus? Some people even think he said, "And you, child?" leading some historians to believe, could Brutus have been Caesar's illegitimate child? I don't know about that one. That's a conspiracy theory. But still, Caesar's dead. So, what's going to happen next? Caesar died. The Senate took him out. There's going to be two people left over. Two people fighting for power in Rome because Caesar's gone. The Senate and the people of Rome are rioting because they loved him. The people loved him. The Senate hated him. So now the whole Roman Republic is up in flames. People are going crazy. So on one side, we have Caesar's best friend for life, Mark Antony. BFF, soldier friend. He's also dating Cleopatra. Yeah, he's got it going on. Antony is his best friend. So do you think he'll win? Or do you think this skinny little teenager named Octavian will win? He's just Caesar's grandnephew. Caesar liked him, but didn't really spend much time with him. He's just this weird little teenager. He's 18 years old. And these two guys are the ones who are going to fight for power. So who do you think is going to win? You're going to have to watch next time on the series finale of When in Rome to find out. Before you go, I hope this made you laugh. I hope it made you smile a little bit. One of my favorite things in history class is acting things out in simulations. I know that's the thing that I miss the most with you guys. So that's what I decided to do today. Act some things out. Hopefully you had some fun. And remember, who do you think's going to win? Octavian or Antony? Have an awesome week.